Hi, it's Carolyn, and welcome to With the Contest Queen. I am with Simon Davis, who is the Vice President of Marketing at Siber Systems, and they are the creators of my absolute favorite program, RoboForm. If you are not familiar with RoboForm, it's the leading password manager, and it was first introduced in 2000, so it is 20 years old. This is the anniversary, and it's continuously been improved since. I can attest to this. RoboForm is a complete cross-platform management solution, and it works on all browsers. So it's Windows, Mac, Linux, Chrome, and all the apps. So iOS, which is iPhone, and Android, which is a lot of the other ones. So welcome, Simon. I'm so excited to have you because on the anniversary of RoboForm, my absolute favorite program, I can't live without it. I've been using it for 17 of your 20 years. And it's the number one thing I tell people to use when they start sweepstaking as a hobby because it has so many benefits. And that's why I wanted to have you here today so you can talk about the amazing features of your software package.
Thanks, Carolyn. I appreciate it. Glad to hear that you're getting use out of it. Yeah, so obviously, people who are filling out sweepstakes, time is of the essence, right? It's all about volume. So you just got to fill out those forms. And obviously, as RoboForm, as it's in the name, right? RoboForm. So it actually started as a form filler because exactly people don't like typing. So it just was built to kind of automate that. But obviously, really quickly, even before you started using it, Carolyn, we started to see that people were using it, to fill out, to save their passwords in it, to use it to log in. So really nowadays, most people use it to log into websites with one click. We like to say it's like your bookmarks on steroids, basically. So the benefits are two. Obviously, one is security, because nowadays with all this rise in breaches, the most common way that people are going to get hacked, quite frankly, is because they're using the same site all over the place. And if there's one hack and you have one password that you use with your email, it gets published on the dark web. Hacker's going to find it in 2 seconds, and they'll just try that email, that same password across, another 1,000 really popular sites. If you're doing the thing that a lot of people sadly do, which is just use the same one, they're going to guess it, they're going to get in. So with RoboForm, we have a password generator feature, which allows you to create a unique and strong password for each site. And the really great thing about that is that, I'll just tell you what a user told me when the Yahoo thing happened. He said, "Oh, they got my Yahoo password. Big deal. I don't use it anywhere else." So, in a nutshell, that's kind of the benefit of having a different password for each site. And because, RoboForm is kind of a little robot there, it's just typing it in for you. You don't have to remember anything. You don't have to type. You just got to say, okay, I want to go to the site, get me in there. Boom. So those are kind of the two, ease of use, security. I would say those are the two big benefits of RoboForm.
One of the things I like to use it for, not just for sweepstakes, but if I need to get in on my computer, sometimes there's two-step authentication and I can't remember my password. Absolutely. So I'll log in on my phone, and then I'll look it up and then I'll type it in.
Sure, yeah.
And I also save, this is another thing that I don't know people could think of. If your kids have passwords, I log in once on my computer and save it, especially when my daughter was little and she wouldn't remember. And then also, for my boyfriend's business, I save all of his passwords in it too, because if he gets locked out or can't remember, I have everybody's secured.
That's great. Yeah, and actually, that's one of the things we launched a few years back was RoboForm Family Plan. So it's basically RoboForm Everywhere. Let me just talk a bit about how the product is priced and just kind of the different versions of it. So we're on what we call a freemium business model. So RoboForm itself is free. If you want to use it on one device, unlimited passwords, there's no charge to that. But then we charge for premium services. One of those is synchronization, and another one is secure sharing. So synchronization basically means that we'll back up your data on our secure cloud, and then sharing is a way that we've developed that allows, for example, you, Carolyn, you want to share some of your passwords with your boyfriend or vice versa, but you don't want to tell him your master password, okay? Because everything in RoboForm is protected by your master password. That's your secret key. We don't know it. We can never get it. That encrypts everything. So with secure sharing, you can basically store passwords that you need, that he needs to have access to on occasion, and you don't have to tell each other your secret key. So it's kind of like a way of being able to go in each other's house, but not giving the key or the burglar alarm to that person in a way. So it's kind of a win-win in that case. A really common thing that people do is their Netflix password. You might have multiple family members that are using the same Netflix account. It's allowed, it's fine, everybody does it. But you want it to be secure. You don't want it to be something super easy that you can just shout across the room. So, those are kind of the features that we charge for. It's about $2 a month, charged annually. We have discounts all the time. Actually, we have a great one for your listeners, Carolyn, too. Yeah, so that's RoboForm, and then RoboForm Family is basically 5 users under one subscription, $4 a month, which is a really great deal. And then there's also RoboForm for Business, which is usually if you're a small company or even huge company. It really expands on the sharing stuff and allows an administrator to add users, remove users, that sort of thing. So if you have employees that you need to give, you want to give them a bunch of shared passwords and take them away if you need to, RoboForm for Business would get you covered.
Oh, that's fantastic. See, those are things that weren't even available when I started using RoboForm.
Sure, yeah.
And sharing is a good thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I have a tip for you have the master password, which is encrypted, and you guys don't have it.
Correct.
I actually have it written on a Post-it note on my will that's filed. So if something happens to me, everyone can whoever's left can get in and
right, yeah,
and go and do the banking and whatever they need to do to close up everything.
So that's one way to do it. And we also, again, with RoboForm 8, as of like 2017, again, similar to sharing, we have something that's called emergency access, which that's a super common scenario. We're all going to die, which is say that you have a trusted contact, an heir, business associate, whatever, somebody where if for whatever reason you're unable, if they need to get access to your account, but you're unable to give it to them in that moment. So you're incapacitated or you're deceased. That allows you to appoint someone as that contact, and you put a time limit. You say, okay, this person has access. I grant them that access. They accept that access. Both parties have to agree, up front. And then if I'm unable, if they apply for access and I don't say no within that time period, they get access to everything. So it gives that buffer, and depending on how much you trust someone, or whatever, you can give someone immediate access. You can give someone up to a few days before they're able to get in. So your system, of course, definitely, if you have a lawyer, if you're not going to change your master password, definitely works. But we also now have an automated way of where they get transferred that data automatically.
That's fantastic.
Sure, yeah.
The other thing I wanted to make sure that we talked about is the tutorials, because your system was so simple when it first started, and it's only gotten more robust as it's gone along. And so one of the things I had to do was actually put a link to your tutorial section, because I'm getting so many questions on how to use RoboForm.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so roboform.com/tutorials is where we keep, kind of the key sort of how-tos, how to add a password, how to save a password, how to update a password, how to log in, how to create your identity, how to add a safe note, how to install it on our mobile apps. We also work on Android and iOS. We're on the Play Store. We're on the App Store as well. We work across all platforms and all major browsers. And then there's also help.roboform.com, which is our help center. Which we have something, I think, like 800 articles where you can just search for pretty much whatever you want, and it'll be in there, and that's constantly updated. We're also introducing some new video tutorials as well, just to make it a bit more visual for folks. But it's all written down. It's all constantly updated. And we have 24/7 support. So via email, roboform.com/support, you can ask a question. We say it's within a day, but typically it's within an hour or so. So yeah, we definitely, we're always available to answer any kind of questions. And we're updating it. And as we update it, we like to keep the documentation current as well.
Yeah. And the thing that I like to stress to people is, I know you're a freemium company, which means it's free and premium, for those that don't know where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you can get a free version of RoboForm, but there's so many aspects that you don't benefit from if you don't pay for the premium, and it's so inexpensive. I always tell people, one win pays for the subscription.
Mm-hmm.
It is worth every penny. I can't imagine living without it. That's how I stress it. And I also say it's an investment. It's an investment in your hobby. It's an investment in your security. So I want to encourage people to actually purchase the program. And I'm going to point down below, I'm going to have a new special price from RoboForm. So I think it's 30% off.
Yep.
So there's no excuse not to pay for the premium version to get all the benefits of it. And is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that really makes it, can't live without program, besides it's the only way I know how to organize my sweepstakes and have 700 passwords in my system?
That's basically it, right? You get in and out of everything you need. Just think about how much time you spend typing, how much time, what's the value of, you're out and about and you get locked out of some account you really need to get into. That's the most frustrating thing in the world. RoboForm, you just have your smartphone, you can log in. Your data is always there. It's always updated. You don't have to worry about, am I at the right computer? Or, do I have my password book, or, whatever. You don't have to think about, do I have a system? Do I forget it? None of that. It just, it's just incredible peace of mind. It's always there. And we don't sell your data. We're freemium. Our free version, we don't have ads. A lot of other apps, they put ads, they sell your data. That's how they make the money. They make you the product, not the customer. That's not us. We make money when you pay for our software, plain and simple. That's it. So yeah, we appreciate the support, Carolyn. And
that's really important that you stress that you don't sell the data, because that's such a big concern.
Absolutely. Yeah.
With people. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that when you pay for it, you get the syncing feature, which is really important because it's secured in the cloud. If something ever happens to your computer, how many times has your computer crashed?
Mm-hmm.
You lost all your data. Guess what? If my computer crashes, between you and Dropbox, I don't have to worry about anything.
Mm-hmm.
As all my passwords and everything are locked in the cloud with RoboForm, and all my business files are locked in the cloud with Dropbox, and I could just turn around and get a new computer, download everything, and I'm ready to go in an instant.
Sure. And yeah, it's super easy to get started. So if you have your passwords written down somewhere, all you got to do is just load it up. You can just take them one by one and just type them in. So it's if you think it's daunting, if you think, I've been doing it one way, this whole time, I couldn't possibly switch to a different system. Not at all. Super easy to get started. We can import from any browser, even another password manager. Takes 2 minutes, and you won't look back.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If people are intimidated and are a little worried about buying the premium right away, it is freemium. Download the free one, get a little comfortable. It's, you don't start running an Olympic marathon. You start off by crawling and then walking and then running and then building up your endurance. So it's just like that. So start with if you don't have RoboForm already, start with the free one, get your feet wet, get comfortable. And then of course you will sign up, because you're going to love it as much as I do, I am sure. I just thank you so much for coming on today, Simon, and just reminding people as to why this is my absolute favorite software package, with all the benefits of being secure in today's environment.
Sure. Thank you so much, Carolyn. I appreciate it.
Thanks.